Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know. Lao Tzu, the Dao Dejing. Many people put a lot of energy in trying to better their lives. They gain knowledge and chase materialistic objects while exhausting their bodies and burdening their minds only to end up in discontent. Lao Tzu, the father of Taoism, observed that people tend to act in ways that are counterproductive, and in their attempts to alter the natural way, they only make things worse. According to the ancient Taoist sages, we should get rid of all efforts to become someone better. Why? Because all these man-made ideas of idealism only remove us further from the natural flow of life. Trying to alter what nature has intended is like swimming against the stream. It's exhausting and gets us nowhere. This video is about Lao Tzu's concept of Wu Wei, or non-action, or non-desiring. It talks about not trying to change the world, and by not trying, you will win the world instead. Behind the ever-changing universe lies a mysterious and undefinable force that the Taoists call Dao. The Dao is beyond everything that our senses can perceive. Still, we can know and feel it, even though we cannot comprehend it. This symbolizes the tragic attempts by humans to conceptualize things that are beyond their understanding. The same goes for the human tendency to make fixed rules for everything to get a sense of control. With this, we limit ourselves because the world is ever-changing, and what works today may not work tomorrow. Similar concepts to Wu Wei can be found in the Bhagavad Gita. You shall work, but for the work's sake only. Desiring the fruits of work shall never be your motive in working, and never give way to laziness either. Perform every action with your heart fixed on the Supreme Lord. Renounce attachment to the fruits. Be even tempered in success and failure. If you want to learn more about the Bhagavad Gita, subscribe to my channel and activate notifications, because I am working on a video about the Bhagavad Gita right now, and I will upload it to my channel very soon. A more contemporary concept of Wu Wei, or non-action or non-desire, is the concept of the flow state, or being in the zone. Some of you may be familiar with this concept. In positive psychology, a flow state, also known colloquially as being in the zone, is the mental state in which a person performing some activity is fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, full involvement, and enjoyment in the process of the activity. In essence, flow is characterized by the complete absorption in what one does and a resulting transformation in one's sense of time. The flow state is a similar concept to Lao Tzu's concept of non-action, or Wu Wei. It can also be translated into effortless action, because when we're in the zone, we act in a smooth manner without thinking about what we're doing. We're just doing it without any goal or desire, fully immersed in the present moment. Unfortunately, in our society, non-action is often seen as something bad or unproductive. Many would say doing nothing is a useless way of spending time, because there is no progression. But according to the Taoists, this couldn't be further from the truth, because the universe is in a constant state of change, and there is always progression in the natural flow of life. So instead of using force and exhausting yourself, which is the favorized mode of today's culture, you should travel through life much more easily by shifting into the flow state. There is an ancient story about a cook from the Zhengzi that illustrates the Dao, or the Wei, which is a common translation as well. Cook Ting was cutting up an ox for Lord Wenhui. At every touch of his hand, every heave of his shoulder, every move of his feet, every thrust of his knee, he slithered the knife along, and all was in perfect rhythm. "Ah, this is marvelous," said Lord Wenhui. "Imagine skill reaching such heights." Cook Ting laid down his knife and replied, "What I care about is the way, which goes beyond skill. When I first begun cutting up oxen, all I could see was the ox itself. Now I go at it by spirit and don't look with my eyes. Perception and understanding have come to a stop, and spirit moves where it wants. I go along with the natural makeup, strike in the big hollows, glide the knife through the big openings, and follow things as they are. So I never touch the smallest ligament or tendon, much less a main joint." A good cook changes his knife once a year because he cuts. A mediocre cook changes his knife once a month because he hacks. I've had this knife of mine for 19 years and I've cut up thousands of oxen with it, and yet the blade is as good as though it had just come from the grindstone. There are spaces between the joints, and the blade of the knife has really no thickness. If you insert what has no thickness into such spaces, then there is plenty of room, more than enough for the blade to play about in. That's why after 19 years, the blade of my knife is still as good as when it first came from the grindstone. This story illustrates the state of Wu Wei, where action arises spontaneously and effortlessly from a place of deep awareness and harmony with the Tao. It is that state of non-action, non-desiring, not wanting to achieve anything, that paradoxically leads to effective action. By relinquishing control and letting go of our attachments and desires, we align ourselves with the natural flow of the universe. In this state, we act without resistance, without force, and without striving, allowing things to unfold organically. The Taoist philosophy of Wu Wei extends beyond individual action to society and governance. Lao Tzu emphasizes the importance of ruling with humility, compassion, and non-interference. He criticizes excessive government control and micromanagement, suggesting that leaders should trust in the inherent wisdom of the people and the natural course of events. In summary, the concept of Wu Wei in Taoist philosophy embodies the idea of non-desire, effortless action, or the paradoxical action in non-action. It is about aligning oneself with the natural flow of the universe, acting without resistance or striving, and embracing stillness of mind. Wu Wei extends beyond individual action to leadership and governance, emphasizing trust, humility, and non-interference. By embodying Wu Wei, you can find harmony, effectiveness, and contentment in your actions and interactions with the world.